Right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shemi Shai. I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that do rule well. Salutation to the men of the Hope and Since elect. There's a brother Marcus out here in Trinidad. I just want to do a little edification for the elect's sake. And the name of this lesson would be, Now is not the time to cry for the dead. Now is not the time to cry for the dead. All right, and what I mean by now is not the time to cry for the dead. There is always a sad thing losing someone, losing a loved one, losing a family, a friend, a spouse, a child, a parent. All right, is always a sad thing. All right, and though we say condolence when someone dies, you could only truly express condolence when you have been in that same exact predicament, that same situation. Because the word condolence may come from the Latin condolere, which means to suffer with. So when you say condolence, mean I'm suffering with you. Some people just say condolence just for respect, just for saying condolence sake. But you can only truly suffer with someone when you know exactly what that person is going through. All right. So it's never how to say, it's never not a sad situation losing someone. But the reason why I say now is not the time to cry. Now is the time actually to, you might have to, like, hey, you rejoice. So that person died, hey, you know what? Hey, they're in a better place, rejoice, because the times that we are about to enter into is some crazy evil times. All right. And if you have, whether it be a brother in the faith, whether it be a parent, your child, some sibling in the world, some relative that was close to you, or a friend in the world that was close to you, you might say, you mightn't feel so sad because, despite it might be judgment, let's say that person died of a heart attack or from other natural causes, probably old age. They probably died, from a gunshot to the head or gunshot to the chest. And in the matter of seconds, they died. Yet, though it was painful, it was only pain for seconds. So it's like they had a quick death, they had an easy death. All right. So it might be judgment, but they still had a swift death. Compared to the time that we are about to enter into, receiving death now would be a mercy shot compared to, the way the people gonna die in the time coming, at the horrors and the horrific sights that people gonna see and have to endure in the time to come in Jacob's trouble. All right, this Isaiah 57:1. It says, the righteous man perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart, and merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. Yeah, so you might see a brother die, you might be sad, that brother going too soon, but guess what? That brother, he taken away from the evil to come. He had rest, he had peace. He don't have to see the evils, he don't have to be a part of it. All right? The Lord said, my servant shall eat, but you shall hunger. My servant shall drink, but you shall thirst. Guess what? We still laboring. He's at rest. He already crossed the finish line. We still laboring, hoping that we're part of the elect. We still laboring. All right, we still running that race. And even though part of the elect, we don't know what our lot would be. We don't know if our lot would be to escape all the evils and be in safety. We don't know if our lot will be to be part of the destruction, caught up in concentration camps, be beheaded, be flayed, have to watch our families die, to not forsake the name Yahweh Shemi and the gospel. We don't know. We don't know what our lot would be. So that brother that died, guess what? That was mercy. All right? He's in a better place. The scripture said all go on to the same place. All right? So even a total going on to the same place. They receive the judgment. They're going to come back as a child in the kingdom. But that brother that died in the faith, he's going to come back as a grown man and elect. All right? But all in all, it's still mercy. As I said, if you do not receive a horrific death, let's say, you die in a fire and you get burnt up. All right, and that fire was a dread fire, but you survived the fire and you die, but you die days after. So you in torment for days. You didn't only endure the torment of the fire, you endure the torment of the after effects of the fire for days. That is a horrific death. I'm not talking about a judgment of such magnitude now. I'm talking about you die of natural causes or you receive a swift death. That is mercy compared to what people are gonna endure in the days to come. All right, it says, he shall enter into peace, they shall rest in their beds, each walking in his uprightness. So they're gonna be in peace. All right, they're gonna be in peace. They die now, they're gonna be in peace. You have a grandmother, a grandfather, and they, you have love for them. All right, they aged. All right, like Apostle Gabar, father, is 97 years old. All right, yeah, to the back of Apostle Gabar's mind, he might be thinking about, what would be his father's situation in time of Jacob's trouble. But he's a man seasoned in the faith. He's like, you know what? Hey, that is the will of the Lord. But guess what? If he dies now, I'm not saying that, I want that for the brother's father that is between the Most High. But I'm just saying, all right? If, let's say, he dies of natural causes now, guess what? That's mercy compared to what other people are going to receive in the time to come. That is mercy. All right? That is what I'm saying. So you might cry, oh, my father died, my mother died, my brother died, and you for days mourning. But then when you really come to think about it, let's say they survived until the time of trouble. Would you really have wanted them to be in that time of trouble? This is Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 9. It says, behold, the day of Yahweh Shemaiah shall cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. A cruel with fierce anger. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. The Lord is coming to bring great evils upon the earth. Great evil is coming upon the earth. Great death, great destruction. Anybody that dies before the day of destruction basically received mercy. Because guess what? You know what it is to be in the time of trouble. You have no rest. You have no food. You're going weeks without no food. You're inside feeling like they're drying out. And then you always have to be on the run because you have to fight for your life. You've seen people dying, your children being raped, your wife raped. You might be in a concentration camp and they're telling you to deny the Lord and you say no. Because you think they might just behead you because you say no. And then they take your little children and start flaying them in front of you, telling you deny the Lord and they would stop. All right? Think about the mental strain you have to endure. Guess what? If someone close to you, a relative, a child, close to you dies now, let's say they die of a swift death now, guess what? They at rest. They ain't gonna suffer no more. Compared to what I remember years ago, a brother, I can't remember if it was a dream the brother had or if he was just making a statement, but he made a statement. I want to believe it was a dream. He said that, I think it was the brother Cora. He had a dream. He said that it could either be a dream or a statement, or could be just mixing up the brothers. But basically what the brother was saying is that, the Lord gave him an option to die now and have a peaceful death, or to remain with the brothers, but he will still die later on, but receive a more gruesome death. And he said he decided to stay with the brothers. So it's like, hey, guess what? You die now, you get a peaceful death, you got easy death, a swift death. But guess what? If you be in the time of Jacob's trouble and you die in that day, or you don't even die, you have to endure in that day, it's gonna be gruesome, it's gonna be horrific. It's gonna be horrific. All right? It's gonna be horrific. You know it is to be chopped up alive because people want to eat your body. You know it is to see a family die. You know it is for the military to come with their big vehicles and be running over people, and you just seeing heads popping. You know it's the mental strain that you're gonna be enduring in that day. All right? I think it was Jeremiah, if I'm not mistaken, said that one of those prophets says that why didn't they die than to see the calamity of the people, or why they didn't have to born to see the calamity of the people. All right, now is not the time to be mourning for the dead. Now is the time you feel sad because you're not gonna see them for a while, but guess what, you have to rejoice and give the Lord praise because that person not gonna be part of the suffering to come. You have an old parent, an old grandparent. Guess what? You think about somebody, an aged person in the time of Jacob's trouble. They could hardly move now. And guess what? They have to try to fend for themselves in the time of Jacob's trouble. Or you have to be there. Let's say you have some loved one in a wheelchair. What are you going to do in the time of Jacob's trouble? Can you endure with that person in that wheelchair? Having to go around looking for food, having to fight off the enemy, having to be on the run. Think about it. Why think the Lord told Jeremiah this? This is Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 1. It says, the word of Yahweh Shai came also unto me, saying, thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons or daughters in this place. The Lord telling Jeremiah, don't have no physical connections. For thus saith Yahweh Shai concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that beget them in this land. They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall die of grievous deaths. Guess what? Dying in your bed peacefully is way better than dying of a grievous death. So you have a loved one and they die now of a peaceful death. Guess what? You're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be happy. All right? They shall not be buried. They shall be as dung upon the face of the earth. And they shall be consumed by the sword and by the famine. And their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. Just think about it. Just think about it. Just think about what people have to endure in these times. You see a loved one die now, guess what? Hey, you're supposed to be happy for them. Say, you know what? At least they escape the destruction that's going to come. At least they escape the destruction that's going to come. You're supposed to be happy for them. All right? This is Revelation chapter 14 and verse 13. It says, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, said the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors and their works to follow them. So you see our brother in the faith die. You say, blessed is that man. He escaped the destruction, and also he gonna come back with the Lord. He had rest. He don't have to worry about Jacob's trouble anymore. He at rest. Let me see. When our brother died, probably he was wicked. I remember the brother, what his name was, Yahweh. When the brother Yahweh died, everybody was mourning. And I had one particular brother, that said, which I find was a effed up thing to say. We don't know what wickedness the brother was doing. All right. Why the Lord, took him. All right. And that was the same day he died. That was an effed up thing to say. All right. That is between the brother and the Most High. But guess what? He don't have to worry about running again. He don't have to worry about Jacob's trouble. So you see our brother die, you might feel sorry because you're not going to see that brother again for a short period. All right, but guess what? He's in a better place than you are. He's in a better place than you are. You still have to worry about Jacob. Matter of fact, from day to day, you still have to worry. He have no worries. He have no cares anymore. He's with Yahweh Shai. So yeah, you weep a little, but at the end of the day, you have to rejoice because they are at rest. They don't have to see the calamities again. They don't have to be a part of it. As the scripture said, though these 3 men were in it, it says, blessed are the dead that die in the Lord. All right? Because that is the ones who are going to be truly blessed. The ones that die in Yahweh Shai, that die in the faith. All Israel are going to be saved. All right? But the ones that die in Yahweh Shai, they're going to be part of the first resurrection. They're going to come with Yahweh Shai. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 22 and verse 11. It says, weep for the dead, for he had lost the light. And weep for the fool, for he had wanted understanding. Make little weeping for the dead, for he is at rest. Little weeping. You're supposed to be only crying because, it might be a brother that you spoke to on a day-to-day basis. You're always hooked up. All right, doing videos, doing lessons, gonna have a drink. You and this brother were close. All right, so you would cry because you wouldn't see him for a short while. All right, so it says, make little weeping for the dead, for he's at rest. He's at rest now. You still running. It says, but the life of the fool is worse than death. The life of the fool is worse than death. So you make little weeping for a brother that died. Only because you're not gonna see him for a short while. You're not gonna be able to hear his voice on a daily basis. All right. But guess what? When you really think about it, he don't have to endure the evils to come anymore. You have a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a wife, child that die. No. A swift death, no. I'm not talking about a gruesome death. Let's say dogs tear them to pieces. I'm not talking about death like that. I'm talking about a swift death. Within seconds they're dead peacefully. It might not even have to be peacefully, but it's swift. So the pain wasn't no long enduring pain. It's still better than dying for your iniquities in the time to come. Because the pain, the scripture says the same time, know it by death through pain. The pain that they would have endured in the time of Jacob's trouble are gonna be more enduring. All right? And then might have to witness that. And there's going to be a lot of strain on your mind because you still have emotional attachment to that person. All right? I remember the dream that I had the other day when Yahweh Shai was coming, and basically, I think it was my mother, my brother, my sisters, and my nephew. The Lord had them lined up, and the Lord told me choose which one to to live, because the rest had to die. And he tell me choose one to live. And I looked at them and I said I couldn't choose. And I asked him, I say, if I choose that all die now, would they receive a swift death? And he said that was a good choice. And at that instant they disappeared. At that instant. So they received an easy death. All right? They received an easy death. So when you think about someone dying now compared to how people are going to be dying in the time of Jacob's trouble, believe me, dying now is way better than dying in the time of Jacob's trouble, because a lot of horrors are going to happen in the time of Jacob's trouble. A lot of horrors are going to happen in the time of Jacob's trouble. There is Lamentations chapter 4. And verse 9, it says, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. You know it is to go, you die of hunger. That is months. That is probably not months, probably like just over a month, because Yahweh Shai fasted for 40 days. So like 2 months, 3 months go with no food. And you just pining away, suffering. Wish you could have been dead long time. You wish you would have been dead. You wish you hadn't beat that cancer or survived that stab wound or that bullet shot you had before the evil days. You wish you had received a easy death, pining away, waiting for death to come. The time of Jacob's trouble ain't gonna be no easy time. Trust me, this is not the time to be crying for the dead, weeping and wailing, and months you just, distraught over the death of a loved one. Trust me. By you saying that, you basically saying you want them to suffer in the time of Jacob's trouble. This is Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 5. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, an evil and only evil, behold, it is come. An end is come, the end is come, it watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come." So the time's coming at evil. Only evil gonna come. Jumping down to verse 15, it says, "The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within." Diseases, all right? It says, "He that is in the field shall be slain with the sword, and he that is in the city, the famine and the pestilence shall devour. But they that escape of them shall escape, and shall be on the mountain like doves of the valleys, all of them mourning, every one of them for his iniquity." Trust me, the ones that die now gonna be you're gonna be in a better place, that easier situation than the ones that die in the time of Jacob's trouble. Or the Lord preparing destruction for the ones that that in the day of trouble. The scripture says is not like we have ever seen before. It's not like we have ever seen before. It's a gruesome time. It's an evil time. It's a very dread time. 2 Ezra 16 and 17, it says, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the poor shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when those evils shall come? What? We don't even know. The brothers that die now, they are at a better place than us. We still here hoping and wondering, but they at rest. So do little weeping for them. Only because we're not going to be able to talk to them from a day-to-day basis. Not that you want them to come back. Not that you want them to come back. I remember I had an incident years ago. I fell off a scaffold. And the guy that was, trying to revive me, when I fell off this scaffold, I fell from tree height. I was almost 20 feet high in the air, head first. All right? And I remember when he was shaking me and waking me up, I was pissed as hell. I was like, what are you waking me up for? Leave me to sleep. Leave me to sleep. And he was like, no, don't go and sleep. Don't go and sleep. And I was pissed and I said, leave me to go and sleep. And I have no idea why I was saying that. But it was feeling good. The sleep was feeling good. It was feeling sweet. I didn't want to be awakened. So trust me, people, we fear death, but we fear death because we don't understand death. Death is just a sting. And after that sting, you with Yahushai. After that sting, you with Yahushai. The Lord could prolong it. But let's say the Lord don't prolong it. It's just a sting. So don't cry too much for a brother that died or a loved one that died now. They're at rest and they escape the destruction to come. Weep for those. And that's why Yahushua said, don't cry for me, but cry for yourself and your family and your children, because they're going to be in a time of trouble. All right. So with that, I hope it was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I want to give double honors to the apostles of great mercy and do rule well. Salutation to the men of the hopeful and saints elect. This is your brother Marcus out in Trinidad saying shalom and stay strong. Shalom.